Please don't make a lot of noise. Okay, we're live. Let me get the handy dandy. Let me make sure that I'm sure. Oh yeah, we're live. Okay.
All
Now
right.
it is going to be a lovely day. We're going to talk about some lovely things. Hello. Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. We're a little late, but better late than never, as I always say. So we have a very interesting topic for today. This is our part one of the I Said What I Said series, which is keep that same energy. Okay. Um, with that being said, I'm just going to introduce myself and then, we're just going to go down the line from Tracy and give me an opportunity to share, and then we'll hop right into it. Okay. Hello, everybody. For those of you who do not know me, I am Shabreon Howard, aka Shabreon The Advocate. I am a filmmaker, photographer, graphic designer. I am also a sickle cell and mental health advocate. I have a daughter who is 8 years old. She's a trait warrior. 8.5. And I also am the child of a sickle cell warrior. My mother passed away from complications of sickle cell when I was 7 and she was 25. And that is pretty much who I am. I think if I said everything that I do, we'd be here all day. We don't got that type of time. So I'm going to pass the mic over to Tracy, and I'm going to share this so every other people can also watch.
Hi everyone, I'm Tracy Cottle, also known as Trey Icart. I'm a 34-year-old sickle cell patient advocate from Los Angeles and also an artist and photographer. And I'm going to pass the mic to KC.
Hey, this is KC, which stands for Ken Carson. I am a sickle cell warrior, SC warrior, as well as a patient advocate and a community advocate. I advocate for parks and green spaces. I am a writer and a father of a trait warrior, and that's about it. I'm gonna go ahead and kick it over to Master.
My name is Master Bird. I'm an artist from Chicago, Illinois. That's good. Let's go.
You're gonna keep it simple, huh? You're gonna kiss it.
Yeah, it's simple. It's all we need. Simple and easy.
Okay. Thank you for that lovely introduction, Master. That was beautiful. So we are again talking about keeping that same energy. Before we get started, I'm gonna play a video. Those who may know, those may not know, there is a survey that I put out a couple days ago. And it is specifically for sickle cell patients in the community. And what it is we just really want to know where everyone's head is at, and everyone to be a part of the conversation in one way or the other. So the question that I feel like people, myself included, should want to have answered is, well, how does pain meds work? Because all of our lives, right, we have been on these pain medications. And I don't know if it's because we've been on it for so long. Maybe it has been explained to us one time or another. But a lot of people may or may not know how pain meds actually work, what it does to you and your body, what it's specifically for. So we're gonna watch a little video, just to talk about, and then we're gonna talk about the survey and just dive into the conversation. Okay, so it's gonna be a great time. Don't hesitate to communicate, be interactive with us. Let us know in the comments, what do you think the purpose of opioid pain medication is? What is it for? And I'm also going to make sure I post the link to the survey in the comments. It doesn't take long. You can feel free to fill it out after you watch us, of course. And yeah, so let's start with the video and we'll go from there. So let us do what we came to do. Share screen. Just share screen, person. And do let me know if you can't hear the video. What is going on? Oh, okay, I see what happened. All right. All right.
Very common with total knee replacements in the past.
Very necessary.
Right, exactly. So as far as the names, why do these work? How do they work? As far as, can you explain it in a layperson's way?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I mean, you have receptors that go through your brain, your spinal cord, and even your gut. And there's actually, within those receptors, there's a breakdown of those.
So receptors, we're talking about the nervous system.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a little puzzle piece. So you got pain reliever, receptor. It locks in like a puzzle piece. And the most important, there's pretty much 3 receptors that are widely studied. And the mu is the one where it's at. That's the one that has most of the pain relieving properties. And then you have lesser ones that you would call delta and also kappa receptors.
Yeah, that's getting kind of,
it gets a little
technical. The puzzle thing, we're talking about these things come together, and that gives pain to our brain.
Yeah, so as soon as you take the medication, it goes into your gut, it gets into your blood system, in about 15 to 30 minutes, you're going to start to get analgesia, which is pain relief. And you still have that pain. So let's say you broke your wrist. It still hurts like crazy. You just don't care about it. That's what pain relievers do. So
you mean all are opioids?
Yep, any opioid. Yeah, and I guess, we'll use opioids and pain relievers synonymous.
Okay, sure.
Just to keep it as simple as possible. Yep. But the problem with opioids and where we have the crisis is pills can lead to addiction and can lead to seeking some of the street drugs like heroin.
Let's back up. So let's go to knee replacement, because they're very common in my world.
Sure.
You're on opioids. It hurts like crazy. You got to range it out. It hurts. But if you don't get it moving, it's going to contract and scar tissue is going to be a problem. But so we have this connection of the puzzles come together so that the pain goes from the knee to the brain, gets pain. The opioids
blunt that effect.
Yep. So that's all good.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're going to take those. We're going to get good therapy. We're going to be walking again. So where does the problem come from? This less pain or pain you don't care about into a problem, a crisis where you're addicted to it.
Yeah, it's kind of funny when you talk about that, because especially like if you take a total knee, that type of therapy is going to take time to go from A to B. I mean, how often do you see your patients?
Typically a 4-week regimen. It can go, less than that. It can easily go more than that, but we use 4 to 5 weeks, whatever.
Yeah, and so the newer studies, it's very interesting. We had maximal prescribing of opioids that kind of hit the peak in 2012. And we see a very dramatic decrease to where we are today.
Overall
prescribing of these opioid painkillers.
Sure.
And so it's been fascinating. They're harder to come by. You don't see the forgeries. You don't see the seeking behaviors as you do. So to treat your patients, what doctors are doing now is there's the number 3 and the number 5 are very important numbers. So a lot of surgeries, when you doctors are only prescribing, these are kind of FDA guidelines.
Yeah.
You get 3 days of narcotic pain reliever, and then the doctor will review you and see what they need to do next. Because it seems like going up to 5 days there's a lot more continuation of the use of those opioid pain medications. So it's interesting when you have somebody that's on a total knee. I mean, you want to transition from using something like hydrocodone or oxycodone for pain relief to getting over to like Tylenol and something like ibuprofen more rapidly if you can.
But well, let's so where's the problem? Why do people get addicted, and why are people dying from it? How do they go from the prescription medical use for it to this crisis of opioid addiction?
Yeah.
So where does that happen?
So remember we're talking about that puzzle piece? Yeah. There's one main puzzle piece, that one where I said that weird moo, kind of like a well, it hits that. Not only does it give you the analgesia, but it also gives you a euphoric response. So, and not everybody's going to be.
You get a buzz.
You get a buzz.
Yeah.
And so basically, and when you're in pain, you don't notice this. And actually, 97% of patients don't have a problem. It's that 3% that can create, that's where they can get hooked.
Would that be like an addictive personality?
Yeah, there's a lot of factors. I mean, are you in a transitional stage in your life? The younger you are to start pain medications, is there family history, genetics?
Sure.
So there's a lot of things that build into addiction science that make it very, very challenging. So, I mean, for the scope of what we're talking about is what can we do to keep ourselves safe? And it's using them as prescribed by your doctor, what your pharmacist recommended you take it as, and using for the shortest possible period that you can.
So if you're on opioids for more than a month, is that kind of a general, that would be pushing the limit?
Pushing the envelope. I mean, we want to try and, you get up to using opioids regularly for a month, you're going to have to walk down because otherwise you're going to go through withdrawal. At that point, you are at least physically addicted on the medication. So
even the prescription?
Yeah, even the prescription. So if you're taking, I'm going to pick on hydrocodone with acetaminophen. You're taking, one tablet 4 times a day, every 6 hours. If you do that for 4 weeks, and all of a sudden we just say, Brad, I'm not going to give you any more medication.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bad day. So
just one day, or is that going to take a while?
Well, it takes about a week to flush out of your system. So so if we taper you off, so if we go from 4 down to 3 tablets a day for a week, and then maybe 2 tablets a day for a week, and then finally 1 tablet a day and off, that exit is very clean. And so, but it takes.
So if you do that, then you're probably not going to feel addicted. You're not going to want it anymore.
No.
Unless maybe you're in that 3%.
Yeah. And then there's other stats that we can throw in too that make it even more confusing. But I mean, for the most part, it's that 3%.
So as long as you follow, and you said now that, and I've heard this too from doctors as well as patients, they're less likely to prescribe opioids, and it's governed or monitored, regulated.
Yep.
Is this worldwide, or is this just in the United States?
In the United States. And I mean, it's kind of funny when you start looking at stats, but right now in the United States, we use a thing called the PDMP, which is it's a website that helps us, the prescription monitoring drug program.
Sure.
And so when we get an opioid that comes in, we have to log on and look at that and then see what.
Okay. So I don't want us to get lost in all the information that they're offering to us, right? So first let's get you guys' reaction to that. How do you all feel about what was said? Do you think that was a clear explanation of how pain meds work?
Well, I'll kick it off. As far as how the pain meds work, I mean, again, that's, par for the course, right? They do what they do. I was more affected by what the stat that he gave about addiction and about the fact that it's really like only 3% of the people who are using these medications on a regular basis who have addiction issues. To me, that's, the missing idea around opioids and the treatment of patients. That treatment that we get with the drug seeking mindset that doctors and nurses sometimes have about sickle cell patients. They don't seem to understand that, we're not addicts. We're not addicted to this medication. we may be, in a position where we have to take it on a consistent basis, but that doesn't make you an addict. I think that was, for me, that thing just jumps right out at you. 97% of us are just taking our meds the way that we take our meds, and trying really hard to not, fall into that 3%.
Okay. Anyone else have anything they want to add?
I think it's tough for the man to go from saying he's gonna take pills to doing heroin. Like, man,
Yeah.
that's a big jump, yo. Like, that's like that's a huge jump.
Yeah, I agree with you, Master.
Consider what we've seen heroin do to people. Like, yeah. I'm just saying, out of everybody I ever met and seen, and you kind of know a heroin addict versus different types of drugs. See what I'm saying? And I don't think I could say that I even seen anybody in the sickle cell community that, unless they was on lab and then the doctor came in and put the medicine in that, like, in the IV right then and there. I can't say that I've seen or been around a person that's even slightly seen like they on heroin. Like, yeah.
And especially in the sickle cell community, where, somebody has transitioned from, oral opioids to putting a needle in their arm. I haven't seen that. I haven't even seen or heard of anything like that in our community. Not saying that it doesn't happen, I'm just saying in the sickle cell community, I haven't seen it. Not at all.
Okay, so let's stay focused, because I feel like I hear what y'all saying, and I do want to react to the rest of the video, but we still have to stay relevant to what it is that the topic is on, so that we can go over the survey, so that everybody has a clear understanding of what and how pain meds work. Because that's the point of that. And I want to get into that topic, that part of the conversation, but I don't want to jump ahead. You understand?
Okay. Yeah.
I want to say something on that part, though. I think it's interesting that he says that, it starts with the receptors in the mind, and it kind of made me remember that a lot of times when it comes to pain and how you feel initially, it often starts with how you feel about yourself and how what your state of mind is going into a crisis. So I think I don't know if you want to add anything to add to that shit, or.
Well, I just wanted to specifically say, in case anyone missed it, because I know there are people watching now, but I wanted to say that the way pain meds work is, I'll just reiterate what he said. You take it, goes to your stomach, gets into your bloodstream, and then it goes to your pain receptors. So your mind only thinks, it pretty much tricks your mind into only thinking, blocking out. It's like a puzzle piece. Like your pain receptors is like this. And so instead of that pain connecting, it's the meds right there, kind of blocking it, right?
It's basically a mask, right?
Yes. It's masking what pain is really there, still working. So it's blocking it, pretty much from your pain receptors. So a lot of people have a misconception of how pain meds work. I know for myself at one point, I did also. I thought when I take the pain meds, it takes the pain away in that specific part of my body for however amount of time. But the pain is still there the whole time.
Yeah.
It's just making you believe the pain is no longer there. And I think that's very interesting. So with that being said, let's get into the unless anyone have anything they want to add to that,
Yeah,
specifically
I
on
wanna
that
add
subject.
I've
Okay.
been
I
through that.
wanna. Well, go ahead, Master.
I was just saying that I've been through that, like with my daughter. You know, like my daughter would go to, like, she'll be feeling, you know, they like, okay, well, my leg hurt or whatever, and she, you know, 9 times out of 10 would like call from my mother's house or whatever, and be like, oh, my leg hurt, and I'm okay. What is it? Oh, it's a tooth. Okay, well then get you some ibuprofen and then sit down. However, what she does is the total opposite of sit down, because in her head, once the once the pain stop, that mean go again. And I done had, man, I can't count on one hand. I can't count on both hands, honestly, how many times that has been a reason that she'll end up in the hospital for a few days. Because both of them didn't understand that part. Uh, you know, you want to let the kid play, but they not understanding that, like, you know, just because the pain stopped, that the crisis is still going. Just because the pain stopped, the sickling is still there. Like, they don't feel it, so in her head, it's go time, and she don't know she messing herself up as she playing. So yeah, I had that happen a lot of times.
Okay.
And then that's really what my statement was about, is the fact that, regardless of the fact that you're not feeling the pain, there's the processes are still taking place in your body that are affecting you in negative ways. And the fact that you're taking this medicine to mask the pain is not solving the issue. And, and certainly we're just happy because the pain is gone. But my thought is, why aren't they giving us what we need to solve the issue? We don't want to just mask the issue. We want the issue to go away. Because if the issue goes away, if the process stops, the pain will stop, and we wouldn't need the opioids, right? But they go straight to the masking and kind of skip over that. Hey, we need to, and I'm not saying that our patients don't know that they need to hydrate. When the crisis starts, that they need to, drink like coconut water, stuff that gives you the essentials that your body needs to start affecting that process. And I don't know if any of these new meds that they have out are medicines that can affect that process when it starts. I don't know, but I really think that that's really the issue, is that, more than just taking pain meds, we really want to stop the crises and do whatever it takes to stop the crises.
I have a question for you all. In your experience, when you get ready, say you have a crisis and you're in the hospital, do your doctors, are they more likely to let you go when do they try to wean you off of the opioids, or do they just say, here's some medicine, you're good, just go?
I never been weaned off. I never. I just leave. But I also, well, for a long, so I didn't even know really that I was even supposed to get weaned off, you know, until I started, seeing people talk about it on Facebook. So I never been weaned off because I was already used to just leaving. You know what I'm saying? And then I don't know if it was because I take, what I take, the 1 milligram of like while I'm in there. I don't know if it was because of that or what, but nah, I just go home. Like a lot of times I even drive home, even out of the emergency room. I think only in Indiana I've had a doctor. When I lived in Indiana, that was probably the only time that they wouldn't let me take my car. But other than that, I drove home, everything. Like, and I know they supposed to make you wait, but
Yeah,
I
that's
just be
Yeah.
leaving. So they wheel me to the door and in after that. After that, it's over with.
Yeah, I when I go to the hospital, depending on the hospital, so I go to two different ones. One for my blood exchange, and one is like my home hospital that I go to if I'm not well and I know I don't need a blood exchange or anything. So when I go there, I my primary is my hospitalist, and so I pretty much get medication all the way until I leave because she knows my situation and she knows like I don't have reliable support system for my daughter, so it's like, well, we're gonna get you as well as possible and get you as much as you need while you're here so that you're not going home, lacking. Now, it's not to say like if I don't need it, then of course I'm not taking it. But if there is a need still, and it's just either way, I gotta leave. But yeah, um,
Mhm.
but at the other hospital, sometimes they wean me off, sometimes they don't. Sometimes it's up until the point where I'm leaving as well. So it depends. But I do good either way because I know how to wean myself down
Mhm.
once I get home.
Mhm.
Because that's important too,
Mhm.
knowing how to taper yourself down. Because I've done things like come home and just completely went cold turkey from
Yeah,
medication. Don't do that. That's a bad idea. That's a bad idea. So you know, there's a process to it, at least 3 days, even if
Mhm.
you're taking a pill a day or half in a pill a day, whatever you need to do. But it's um it's ways to taper yourself down and just being careful.
Yeah. See, because they tried not to give me like pill form Dilaudid and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why they try to taper me off because maybe it's just the hospital I go to, they don't want to give it to me. Or maybe I don't need it as often as some other patients might, but like the oral form at least.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, sometimes I try to, well, not sometimes, but I try not to have to go back to the hospital, if I'm not winged off to like a certain level. So just to stay out of there and feel my best. I think now I can usually tell like if I'm okay and if I can recover the rest of the way at home.
Correct. Yeah, I get that.
I will say though, when I would go home, like man, it be sometimes it was crazy. Like sometimes I would just sleep, like the whole day away, the whole next day away. But it's not the fact that I slept. It's really the fact that like I would be paranoid. Like when I would like I remember yeah, I would have crazy dreams, like all types of stuff. It's weird. Even like with but that was happening too with when I was taking the gabapentin. Like I was having the craziest dreams. The craziest dreams. Like
Yeah, your
so
minds definitely can play tricks on
yeah.
you.
Yeah. Like I said, when I was sharing this with Shabreon back in the day when I was young, before they started giving us the opioids IV, they were giving them to you IM in the muscle, and I'm getting 100 milligrams of Demerol, every hour, with a shot in the cheeks, and that's for a week, you know, sometimes 2 weeks, depending on how bad the crisis was, and and yeah, I might have one day where they're, you know, realizing I'm going home the next day, and so they start trying to cut back a little bit on the opioids. But generally, you're going home, and especially back then when they didn't have the IV, you don't have the stuff flushing through your system like it does now. And, just to the point that Master was talking about those dreams, man. Oh my goodness, the withdrawal from those drugs was really, really difficult. And fortunately, I haven't experienced the bad withdrawal since doing it with IV, but I know that it's still there, depending on the type of medication you're using, and it's a definite trip. And again, no more than a day's, maybe 2 days of notice that you're going to be going home, and and a lot of times you're taking your doses up into the point where you're out the door and dealing with the withdrawal when you get home. So
yeah, that in the video he did state about how it's pretty much a standard of care. After the third day, they reassess you and try to wean you off the medication. That's something that he said in the video. So I don't know if anyone caught that, but it's I guess it's basically, it's basically a way that they do it. And I know usually a lot of sickle cell patients have issues by the third day with their care changing. And I think that the disconnect is it's probably something we didn't know up front, that after the third day we're going to reassess, and we're going to try to take you down, so taper you down, so that we lower the risk of A, you becoming addicted, B, all the things that can happen. The video is a very informative video. I will post it. I will post the link in the comments because it is great. So we have some comments. I don't know if you want me to use your regular name or actually the name that you have on your Facebook now. I know that's your kid's name, but so I'm just gonna say what the comment is, and you can let me know what you would rather me call you. Use kratom for withdrawals, even after tapering down. It works wonders. Kratom is a herbal supplement that binds to opioid receptors in the brain and tricks the brain into thinking it took an opioid, so it's great for withdrawals. Oh wow.
I'm
Thank you
sorry,
for
what
that.
was that? The name of that does that?
Kratom. I hope I'm saying it right. Kratom.
I want to know from that person though, have he looked up, side effects or anything to that though? See, I just, all of
Oh
the
my
stuff that we
God, this
take, I
thing is
feel like
driving
it's
me crazy.
always something extra.
Well, yeah, I mean, you will have to do your own research on anything. Like I've always talked about the things that work for me, but that's for me, and I've done my research. So other people, anybody, make sure like any information you get, don't ever trust anybody's word of mouth. You go do your own research. Like that's law.
So
Okay.
let's be real. How many people you think
Well, I
with
mean,
that body
I know that I'm a know-it-all and all, but
how many people you think in
I
this
mean, it's your
community?
health. You got to take. That's why we're saying keep that same energy. Okay, I didn't even talk about what that meant. What we mean by that, right? Keep that same energy. So let's talk about that, and then we're going to talk about the survey. We're going to talk about the survey responses. Okay? Keep that same energy is you have a standard for doctors of how you want them to treat you. You go and you place your life in these doctors' hands and you say, hey, treat me well. I want to live. Correct?
Mhm.
You expect, almost demand most of the time that they treat you with care. They handle you with care. They do everything exemplary to your satisfaction of what it means to take care of you. Right? But do you keep that same energy with yourself when you go home? Don't shoot the messenger. I'm just saying. Let's talk about it, okay? That's a real question. Do
Are
you?
you going to prevent a crisis in the first place? At least attempt.
How
We
do
talking
you?
eating healthy,
Come on.
getting a little bit of exercise, getting your
All right
blood
now.
flowing.
Yes.
Come with it.
Let's talk about the things we do to prevent, to keep that standard of care for ourselves, to keep that same energy that we give out when we go to these hospitals and we expect from the medical community. Do you expect it from yourself?
And eating healthy ain't just what you put in your mouth.
Okay, listen. I don't think they're ready for this conversation. we go. We're gonna cut into the responses from the survey, just because I don't want to lose where we were, and then we're gonna just really hop into the conversation. We have some comments. Okay. I said it right the first time. Yeah, it can make you nauseated. So can pain meds. That's an actual side effect to opioids. Ashley says, I heard a lot of people say that pain crisis lasts only 3 days, but shoot, it might be for some, but not for all. Well, pain crisis lasts however it's gonna last. Like I've had a crisis that's last months before. It's all dependent upon, how much chronic pain that acute pain crisis causes your body to go into, how much of a shock to your body and your system. Because I'm telling you, I done had some, whoo, I done had some things happen to my body. So, of course, it depends on the person, but they're still going to reevaluate in 3 days. That's what he said. It's true.
Yeah. For some people, they can have crises in multiple areas. It could be an organ being affected, multiple organs. It really is subjective.
Yeah. Okay. Stacy says, I definitely don't hydrate at home as much as I give fluids. I think she meant get fluids at the hospital. Yeah, that's the thing. That is so important. Like, and I think one of the best thing I learned from one of the best doctors I've actually ever had in my life, he would always tell me, because I was so consistent with drinking water. Anybody who knows me really truly knows I love me some water. Okay. I will tell you, water is my best friend. Yeah, everybody know. Tracy know, Casey know. You come to my house, what I got? Water. So
you know what? I just want to say something about water real quick. Spring water is the best water. A lot of people think that purified water is good for you. Reverse osmosis water is good for you. You actually have to check the labels on water, because there is a difference. Yeah. Some have natural minerals and some is artificial.
Yes.
Basically, purified water is just tap water. And a lot of people don't know that.
Absolutely.
It's an iodine kit.
Yeah. We have one. I still got to do this water test with Nyla. One of our YouTube videos coming back soon, by the way.
Yeah, I got one up there. I haven't used it yet. I'm gonna check my tap water and the water that come up out of it.
Yeah, I know. I want to check.
Where can you get that from?
Amazon. I got mine from Amazon.
Okay. I think I got it from Walmart.
Okay.
It's on sale too.
Okay, so let's go into this. The survey says survey. Okay. First of all, I want to thank everybody who participated in this survey because you're just pretty much adding to the voice and amplifying our voices to make sure we are heard and our opinions matter. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And if you haven't filled out the survey, feel free to, there's still time. All throughout the month, we're going to, I'm only going to take it a section at a time. All the questions are relevant to each topic for the series that we have going for the month. So there's still time. I will post the survey link in the comments later, a little later. But anyways, the first question is, in what ways does narcotics help you manage your sickle cell? Okay. So there are 3 possible answers. I thought it was 4, but maybe something got mixed up or messed up, but it's fine. Relieves on contact. So that means wherever the pain is in my body, it stops it for a while. Now, we just talked about this, right? 60% of people believe, out of all the people that answered the survey, 60% believe that that's the correct answer. At one point I did too, so no judgment. I'm just saying, we just talked about it. Okay. B, affects brain's pain receptors, making your body believe the pain is gone. 30% of people answered that one, which is the correct answer. And then there was, I don't know what happened to C. C must have got lost somewhere, but the D was all of the above. And 10% of people answered that one, all of the above. So, what do you guys think about the actual, like, compared to what we know how opiates work versus how most people can think they work? What would be, your wisdom that you would give to a person who may have the wrong idea about it? Anybody?
The first thing that comes to mind, I think that people should only use them if they just really feel that they need them. Because as we've heard that it's a mask, so it's only masking the problem. But it depends on what type of crisis you have. For some people, the crisis can be abrupt. For other people, the crisis, can come on, slowly, and you can feel it escalate.
Yeah. Anyone else?
I think that people should do a smoothie or juice or whatever. Put some milk thistle in their stuff every now and again to help with their level.
Okay.
I think that, very honestly, a lot of old time remedies, man. Warm water, a hot bath, and some Bengay, some heat. Those good. Yeah, man. The Bengay. That stuff goes a long way, man.
You should try Tiger Balm, Casey.
Tiger Balm, yeah, that stuff works too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That is definite, and it don't smell near as bad.
They both smell bad, but take your pick.
I like icy hot, even though it smells terrible too. But it's definitely, it works for me out of everything that I've tried. That, and I have this pain reliever body wash. One is for chronic pain and fatigue, and then one is for actual pain. Right. So I love it. I live by it. They have the Epsom salt. They got the body wash, the bubble bath. I got all run it all. Okay. And I'm going to spin the block every time, because when I tell you that stuff truly works for me, and find what works for you. Everything that works for one person isn't going to work for another. I take superfood, which is basically sea moss and burdock root and bladderwrack. And when I tell you, that stuff helps me with my energy, it helps me with my pain management. I haven't had nearly as much chronic pain as I had when I first started taking this the supplement. So, like I said, you find what works for you. And no one is saying, oh, don't take your medication, because that's not what we're saying at all. What we're saying is, now that we know for sure how pain meds work, right? We have a responsibility to ourselves to know, okay, this is only going to mask the problem for a while. It's not making the pain go away. It's making me think the pain has gone away. And it's a lot of just making sure your body is in the right position for you to be. You're already kind of at a disadvantage because of sickle cell. So you don't want to be at a disadvantage and then also be behind it. Because if you're not in front of it or on top of it, oh baby, it's going to run laps around you. Sickle cell works like that. We all know. So you just got to figure out what works for you, what helps you. We can offer things that may be helpful, that's helped us, but ultimately, the choice is yours. Okay, the next question was, how do I manage? This is right on topic. How do I manage my sickle cell at home? Okay, so we have pain medication and hydration. 34% of people said that. Natural herbal remedies. 7% of people said yes for that. Oxygen tank and or deep breathing. 10% of people said yes to that. Meditation and yoga. 14% of people said yes to that. Rest and relaxation. 34% of people said yes to that. So with that being said, I think that we just got to go a little deeper than we're going. Sometimes surface level, taking care of sickle cell is only going to get you so far before you just continuously land yourself right back in a situation you don't want to be in. And I've been there. I'm still there sometimes. I'm not perfect. Sickle cell going to do what it want to do regardless. You can do everything right, and sickle cell is still going to be like, "Hey, how you doing? What's going on? Let's have a party." And you just going to have to, do what you
Shay, I'm sorry, but you're right with to do what you got to do. But there's something that I forgot to mention, and it really, really behooves me to talk about this aspect of it. And that's the spiritual aspect of it, especially for those of us who believe in Jesus Christ. And understand that Christ has substituted his suffering for ours. And coming into agreement with the word of God in those areas where, it says that, he bore our stripes, and because of what he bore, we have been healed. And so I just, I tell you, when that crisis, especially for those slow crises, the ones that try to creep up on you, and you can feel it coming. And you start, like I said, you start battling. You get out, you hydrate, you get you some coconut water. You're down that, and like I said, you're doing the Bengay and the heat. But you know what? I have had so much success just simply rebuking that pain and coming into agreement with the word of God and what it speaks over my body and what it speaks over the issues in my body, and seeing that pain just disappear. And so for those of us who understand, what Christ has done in our lives, and come into agreement with that, we can certainly have a lot of success addressing our pain in the same way. And certainly don't want to overlook that aspect of it.
Absolutely. I mean, I truly think that like distraction, spirituality, all the things that you're doing naturally, like you're still like affecting your brain one way or the other. Like it's the willpower, the the way that your brain is because like say for instance, and this is perfect example because I used to do this. So I'm gonna speak specifically to me, okay? And maybe it applies to other people, but this is Shabreon Howard. Okay. So there was a point in my life where as soon as I felt this pain that was a little bit like if it was above a 6, I'm freaking out, I'm crying, I'm stressed, I'm trying to I have anxiety trying to figure out what do I need to do. I'm like my body is literally shaking because I just don't want it to get any worse. And lo and behold, I'm doing all the things that's going to lend me from a 7 to a 10. Right? And well, it's not really surprising that I go from a 7 to a 10 from that point. But when I got pregnant with my daughter, I had to realize that I can't freak out. I have to stay calm, not just for myself, but for the sake of my child. So it really having my daughter being pregnant with her really taught me how to be like, take deep breaths, calm down, don't freak out, talk to yourself, pray, meditate, think about where you are with your pain, and understand that it's going to get better. What do you need right this second? Can you do it for yourself or do you need help? So all these things I'm putting in my head and I'm checking off the list because it's helping me mentally compartmentalize what's happening to my body. Therefore, by the time I've taken my medicine, gotten the water, put the oxygen on, by the time I've done all the steps, I'm not freaking out. I'm not even crying. I'm calm to the point where it's like, okay, because now if I'm crying, something's really wrong. Like I don't just cry when I'm in pain. I used to, but and for those people who do, I'm not saying don't cry, but what I'm saying is when you're crying, it only makes it worse. It does. That's a fact. So I had to learn what I needed to do to stay calm enough to not exacerbate my pain even more. To go from, dang, I might need a hospital to, oh, all I need to do is go to sleep. And I'll probably be fine in a few hours. There's a difference. So with that being said, let's move on to the next part. Are you taking any new sickle cell medication? 46% of people said they're taking hydroxyurea. 8% of people said they're on Adecvio. 23% percent of people said other. And another 23% of people said that they were taking Oxbryta. So there are medications that you can take other than pain meds, and it seems like the majority of people are on them. I would really like to know. I should have put like if other what is it? Like, because I really like to know what the other is, because that's what I'm saying. Like, we need to share this type of information with each other because maybe it can be helpful, right? Okay, so let's go to part 2 of that question, which is
Just a quick thought. Most of these medicines are medicines that we take on a regular daily basis, right?
mm-hmm.
I would like to know if any of these medicines are effective in acute situations as opposed to the chronic situations that we take them for. Or we want to make sure that we take that the hydroxyurea, and it builds up our fetal hemoglobin and helps our red blood cells to stay strong. But what medicines, or what any of these medicines can we take at the beginning of a crisis, and just have it have an effect? Because that's what I'd like to see them develop, something other than opioids that can come in and affect the process in an acute situation, as opposed to all the medicines that are supposed to help over the long run. What's that medicine other than opioids that we can take that's going to change the crisis situation?
right.
I think that's what they telling you, to take the ibuprofen and the regular Tylenol for, for the acute situations.
Yeah. I'll say that, ibuprofen, although we're not really supposed to take that because of our kidneys,
Mm-hmm.
It's effective. And I got this other stuff that I use, is the Voltaren gel. It's I can't think of its technical name, but it's called Voltaren, and it's like an ibuprofen in a cream, and it's very effective, and it's supposed to avoid that, going to the kidneys thing. And my doctor said that I could use it, and it's very effective for on point pain. Let me read what the name of it is. Give me 1 second here. It's diclofenac.
Okay, diclofenac.
Sodium. Yeah, diclofenac sodium. And I tell you, when you have a pain, you put this stuff on it, it knocks it out. And so I haven't had a crisis yet to try and see how it works on crisis pain, but it's things like that, that we really do need other medicines, to affect that. So go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay. So part 2 of that question, real quick. If yes, what do you do if you have no or negative reaction? 37% of people said keep taking it regularly if no reaction. Consult with a doctor. 26% of people said they would consult with their doctor if they had a reaction. 5% said they would ask people in the sickle cell community their opinions. Excuse me. 11% of people said they would research the medication more. And 21% of people said they would stop taking it immediately. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay, yeah, that's the last part of that survey. That part of the survey. So yeah. So as far as taking other medications and having reactions, I think that sometimes you have to, like, for myself, I know that when I first started taking Oxbryta, it gave me hell for 2 months straight. Okay. My body was adjusting to it. I had stomach issues. It was like a lot going on. Okay. And there was times I wanted to be like, F this, because what? But I was speaking with my doctor, and then I was still getting sick. I'm like, this ain't working. And me and my doctor was like, listen, okay, give it about 4 months. If in 4 months you're still like, oh hell no, we're done. And I was like, okay, I could agree to that. And by month 3, it had like improved my quality of life drastically. It took me from needing a hospital, needing an ER at least twice a month. I'm sorry, at least every 2 to 3 months. To I went 6 months before I got sick again. So that was a big improvement for me, especially because my body went through changes, I guess, with me getting older. And it went through this whole slippery slope of, oh my goodness, what do we do now? Relearn your body. What needs to happen? And I think that that's a thing too. Like you have to constantly, know that your body is ever changing. It's going to go from one point to the next. It's not just, oh, I hit puberty and I just got to know what my body is like. No, every stage of your life, your body will change, your body chemistry will change, and sickle cell will change how it deals with you. And so, or how you deal with it, depending on what's happening. So, with that being said, you just have to sometimes give things a chance. It took 4 months for real for the Supercell superfood. Like I realized it was working, but it got to a point where I didn't even need any pain meds. Like I was going from at least taking one a day because of my chronic pain and just I'm a mom and it like I was always in pain, and to the point where I didn't need to take anything. If I did, it was like half a pill. So that's what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to give things time. And for me, I realized my body it's about a 4 months period. It's that probationary. My body be like, what's that? What's that? What's that? In about 4 months, it be like, all right, you seem cool enough. You come in, it get initiated into the whole body chemistry and be like, okay, we'll rock with you. But before that, my body don't like anything foreign. Like sickle cell gave it PTSD or something, and if I change my water, okay, my body be like, wait a minute, what is that? You drink alkaline, what's this? So that's what I'm saying. Just know your body and know how it reacts to different things.
I know. I wish you would have told me that earlier.
Oh, what about the oxidizer?
Yeah.
I did tell you.
2 months. You ain't say 2 months.
Well,
I be second guessing.
Well, I mean, our sickle cell works different. You don't really have it as crazy as I do, so maybe it'll take you shorter time. But for myself, it was like, okay, 2 months, and it really started working after 4. That's what my body does. That's how it works. There's
Working
a
after 4 versus pain and all of the other stuff you was just talking about, though. That's the part I'm talking about. Like
the pain, like managing the pain.
Stomach, you was talking about the stomach issue.
Oh, the stomach issues.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We can talk about that. I mean, I can talk about it live. It's fine. Like for me, they had to give me something. They had to prescribe me medication because it did give me horrible diarrhea. I'm gonna say it.
I think she mentioned that, but I'm gonna stop taking that if it do that.
No, so all you do is what do I take?
Yeah,
you don't even need to take it often. It just once it gets into your system, it'll stop. It'll like regulate it. What is it called? That's with the L. I'm tripping right now. I'm sorry. I'm drawing a blank, but it's to like basically Imodium. I'm sorry. So that's what is it? Imodium. You take it like a couple times and it stops it. I just had it. They just prescribed it just in case. But I'm being real with y'all. Like that's what it did to me. At first, I was like, "Whoa, what's going on? Hey there, hey now."
But as we know, with a lot of these, medications come side effects. Sometimes it's just about what you willing to go through to get to the other side. Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And then I had like, I'm not gonna lie, it was sharp pains in my stomach and all that. Like it, I'm being honest. Like I'm being
I ain't
honest.
willing to go through nothing. I don't go through nothing now. Why would I put myself through some other stuff?
But it may not affect you the way it affected me.
I'm just saying if it do.
Okay,
Yeah.
well that's your prerogative, sir.
Cancel. Oh,
Okay, anybody have anything else that they want to add? Do you think that we pretty much talked about the topic at hand? Is there something that we left out?
I wanted to say that when that Tracy and Casey both said something that was kind of he was asking about the beginning when the pain is not that bad. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But then Tracy was talking about like the mental part of it in the beginning of the conversation, and I think that a lot of times that's when I really feel like if you can really start doing something else to get yourself up out of that. You know, if you're up in that 2-3 zone, I think that if you start getting busy or I don't know what people do, but I know I've painted. You know, when I would paint, I would put paint it away. Sometimes it was just because it was taking my mind up off of the pain. Uh, and yeah, that would stop me from taking something. So yeah, I think that those are the things that you can do in the beginning is try to occupy your mind at that time. That's the time to occupy your mind. At level 10, you might as well just go into the hospital.
Do you? I have a question with that. Do you guys feel like at level 10 you go to the hospital, or it's like a lower pain scale than that? Or do you usually feel when it's gonna? Do you know that your body is gonna need to go to the hospital before you hit that number? Like say a 7 or something like that.
Me personally, I know for me, if I take some medicine and it don't work, I go to the hospital. Or like sometimes it done been, you wake up on my if I wake up on my sleep into a bad crisis, I'm more than likely might as well go into the hospital. Like cause when you wake up out your sleep, you don't like I don't know about nobody else, but I don't feel it coming. So by the time I wake up, I literally be barely could walk. So I might as well,
Yeah.
like if it's in my knees, it ain't even no. Yeah, I might as well just go ahead to the hospital.
That's actually one of the worst crises I ever had was like out of my sleep. And it happened to be my legs too. And I couldn't drive and I had to catch an Uber to the hospital because the ambulance wasn't going to make it quick enough.
Yeah, and so that I had a call, and so that's I've never like really even. I have never been in the ambulance to go into the West End. What I do is though I drive, and it's bad that they got it's good that I haven't been in the crisis to the point that I need like speed to the hospital at this point. But I used to drive myself during the time, and it'd be like, yeah, like I'm running everything. If it's one of those, I'm not stopping. Like,
Yeah, I felt that.
perfect.
Even
I
if only one of my arms is working, I'll use the other one to steer the wheel.
Yeah, I'm not.
listen. If it's my arms, my back, like if it's my upper body, I'll take the pain for a while, even if it's like at a 7,
Hmm.
8. But if it's my legs, that's out. Like I
Yeah.
can't because one, I have stairs and that's really dangerous. Like I have
Mm,
a multi-level place, so to go from upstairs to downstairs is dangerous. That means if I can't walk, I can't take care of my child. I can't protect her if somebody was to come in the house. Like, so that puts me at a disadvantage. So that's why I'm like, if I'm at a point where I can't care for myself or my child, then it's time to go. Like, I've had crises in my feet last year, last September actually. My feet were like that type of pain, man. When you can't even stand to put any weight on your feet whatsoever, like not even a little bit. That pain, it
Yeah,
hit different. I tell you that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because legs work,
So
but feet don't. Man,
You
you'll
ever,
see
you
how
ever, you
important your
ever,
feet
you ever
is to your
slid
body.
down the stairs? You ever slid down the stairs? Like sit down and just slid down the
Nah,
I have.
Yeah, especially when
I
I had
have.
that
I've
ulcer.
crawled down the stairs, but I haven't like I can't like sliding. Nah, I've crawled like little by little. Yeah.
I did the one at a time. Ooh, quickly as I could go.
And
My
that's
knees was
another
gonna
thing. Like when
buckle.
I get sick, depending on where I get sick. So say for instance, if I got sick downstairs and my legs are at a point where I'm like, oh snaps, um, then I'm going to my couch is my bed until I'm well enough to walk properly. If I get sick upstairs, I probably won't see the downstairs of my house for like for like a few days to a week. So it just depends, you know. Um, it depends on how and where and where the pain is. It's a lot that goes into it, especially I think it got more intricate as a single mom. The way that I have to treat myself, the way that I have to care for myself, the way that I have to acknowledge every part of what I go through because of sickle cell. I had to really sit back and take self inventory on even the type of energy I was allowing into my life, um, the type of everything. I have to like self inventory often, frequently, and make sure, listen, okay, am I eating properly? If not, check yourself. I have to do a lot of self accountability for myself in order to stay at a point and be on top of sickle cell. I know that my blood dropping is an issue for me. Even on Oxbryta, my blood be like, oh yeah, all right, bye. It hit me with the eye, bye. So it's like I had to figure out a way to not to get above that, to get ahead of that. And I get the the red blood cell exchanges every couple of months. And even that is a whole process. So all of this is just really it's a lot. And I think I'm putting it lightly when I say that, but it is. And but I want to live. I have to live. So I have to do things that sometimes I don't like. You know, I hate beets, but I eat them. Why? Because it's good for me.
Yeah, I only juice them. I can't eat them, regular, but I put them in juices and mix them with other stuff to make it bearable.
There is no way possible that beets will ever be bearable for me. I found this stuff though. It's like beet sauerkraut. It's like they're. I'm
You
mad
want?
because the store hasn't had it, but I put it in my salads. I put it in my food, and it's actually like decent, and it does help. It really does. So
And I just want to interject a little bit here. You know, something else that's really good and good for you are the beet greens.
yes,
Um, you
Oh,
yeah, eat the
absolutely.
greens of the beets, and you can saute them in oil. You can boil them like you would, spinach, or you can, there's a lot of ways you can do it, but they're really, really good and really good for you.
Absolutely. Okay. Anybody got anything they want to say before we get up out of here? It's been hour 15 at this point.
Yeah.
heat capsules. That's what I do. I can't do none of that. I tried the smoothie stuff.
You have beet capsules?
Yeah, I get capsules.
Where you get it from?
The what's the name of that store? You can get those from Walmart too, but it's like the health food stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some capsules. You can make capsules too. You know that, right?
I'm not doing all that. I hate the smell of beets. Ugh.
No. You
Even
just
the
you
powder. I know you're talking about the powder.
yeah. You get the powder. Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
Shay, honest with so. She said, I'm
I
not doing all
listen.
that.
To thine own self be true. Okay. So you got to know what you can and what you can't do. And I'm not saying I can. I'm just saying I'm not going to.
Yeah, I try to take everything in the capsule. Yeah, that
Yeah,
works.
I'm good with.
But you
I'm
know
better
what?
at taking pills. I
You
like
know what
juicing
though?
though.
Well, I like smoothies. I just juiced for to help with this ulcer stuff, and it kind of worked. But it's one that no matter what you do, that black seed oil, even in the capsule, you still taste it. You still
See, I
taste it.
haven't
Like when
had
you
the
burp,
black
if you
seed
burp
oil.
something later on, you taste it. It's real nasty. It's real strong. It's real bad.
I don't,
What does the black seed oil do? Because I've been wanting to try it, but I'm like,
Say
do I?
everything. When you look it up, it say it help with pretty much anything. Like a lot of stuff that you got going on to help with
Hmm, interesting.
black seed, like sesame seed. What kind of seed is that?
it. Yep. I don't know. I just know when I look it up, when you look it up, it tells you to take it for pretty much anything.
Hmm.
Yeah. You can
As
get it in
long as
the
it
you can get it
works.
in the what's his name? You can get it in the you can get it in the capsules, or you can get it like with a little drop. Yeah, just drop some. Even when you drop like 3 of them, though, you're gonna be like, that's nasty.
Well,
I
I'm gonna
don't
do
know
my
what that is.
research.
It ain't worse than beach though.
Oh, okay,
No,
cool.
it ain't worse.
If you ever juice, try the beets with celery and put a fruit apple in it. That apple
I've
like
done it.
covers
Yeah,
all
apple.
that flavor of the
And
beets
apples
and
are
the celery.
so good for you. Do you know how
Mhm.
good apples really are? Like they're amazing for you. You know how they used to say an apple a day keeps the doctor away? Like it really does. If you eat apples, it's helpful. So helpful. Um Even if you just have an apple, if you're going through like digestion issues, because you know when you take pain meds, it stops
Mhm.
you up sometimes. Eat an apple.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Telling you.
I keep red apples. I keep red apples. I like the green ones, but I keep the red ones because I know they're high in fiber.
Yeah, which red ones? The just the straight plain
Uh,
red ones,
I have
or
to go
the
look. I have to look. I
If
just
you
know.
ever juice beets again, try it with the gala apples, the ones that are like reddish
fire?
yellow. Those are the
Yeah,
bomb ones.
fire. Yeah.
I'm not gonna juice.
Honest with so. Honest with
Listen,
so.
So what?
I appreciate
The
you
hands
all.
be all red. You know what I mean? It's all crazy.
How your hands be
Touching
red?
on them
What?
and stuff.
What are
I'm
we
saying.
talking about now?
I'm saying touching on them when you cutting them and stuff like that. Yeah.
Touching what beats?
My fingertips was all red. Yeah, beats.
Why don't you wear
Yeah.
gloves?
I didn't know at the time. I didn't know. I didn't know.
Wear a
Have you
glove.
ever had golden beets?
Nah.
They're
No.
actually, I think they're more potent than regular beets.
Uh,
They're like way more benefits,
mm.
and yeah, they're. I mean, they still taste like trash, but they still taste like dirt. But it's better for you, and it doesn't leave your hands stained and all that.
I haven't
Yeah.
even seen those in LA or anywhere. Mm-mm.
Really? You would think it would be
Probably
in LA
Whole
because
Foods. Probably Whole Foods. I gotta go to a specialty store or something. Maybe
wow,
Sprouts.
they
Sprouts.
had it at Albertsons, like straight up, just
Okay. Well, Albertsons by me.
I
Albertsons.
am going home, y'all. I am
Yay!
going home. I got tickets.
Good. Okay, I just want to thank you again, all of you, for being amazing and lovely and saying, keeping that same energy. Okay, because it takes a lot to keep that same energy. Because that's why when I go to that hospital, the expectations are high because I hold those expectations for myself. So when I go into that hospital, listen, I'm gonna put the same expectations that I put on myself on you, on the medical team that I have, because specifically, I've done my best. I've done my job. Now it's your part. Now it's time for you to do your part. I'm not here just cuz. So that's pretty much all we've been trying to say for the past hour and 20 minutes. Keep that same energy. Okay? We love you. We're coming from a place of love, and we just want this community to grow. It truly hurt. I know it hurts me. I know it hurts all of us when we see, down the timeline when people lose their lives, the complications of this illness. And a lot of the times it can be helped, sometimes. So just try to do your best, and let's just all hold ourselves accountable of doing our best and making sure that moving forward, we are in a position to have wealth through health. Okay, that's all I'm saying. One of my main goals, why I want to be rich, not because I just want to be rich and buy stuff. No, I want to be rich because it takes money to be healthy. Okay, it's very expensive to be healthy, and I understand that. So, because trust me, the amount of money that I deal out every month just to keep myself at a standard, it's not a game. It's straight facts. It costs money, and that's just at the capacity that I have, based off of my income right now. So that's all we're really trying to say. We're coming from a place of love and just wanting to hold everyone accountable, holding ourselves accountable, giving people options. If there are options that you know of, natural medications we may not even know of, whatever, put it in the comments. Even if you're watching this after we're live, I'm still going to read it. I'm going to pay attention. If it's something that could potentially help someone manage their illness, their sickle cell better, then why not? Why not tell people what works for you? All right, y'all. So, y'all have anything to say before I give my positive words of wisdom?
I just want to say thank you all for joining us, and just remember that it starts with you taking care of yourself.
Awesome. Master, you have anything you want to say?
Nope.
All right, then. Well, it's that time again for the positive words of wisdom. And I think this really applies to right now what we're talking about too. Okay, because just think about keeping that same energy and think about what I'm getting ready to say to you right now. Okay?
I do got something to say after that.
What's up?
I know you say your last big thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, go ahead before I say it.
But we're talking about this particular topic, like I've seen, throughout the years where people always speak on this person a seeker or that person a seeker. Don't put a person on blast. Help them. Like, don't get on here and put a person on blast if that's how you feel like they are. Slide in the inbox and help them out, man. Like, you don't want to be the reason somebody kill themselves, do you?
Can we not say words that's gonna get me banned from YouTube?
I'm like, that's how we gonna end.
Oh, who knows?
Unlive themselves.
Yeah, unalive themselves.
You don't want to be the reason somebody do anything to themselves.
Period. Right. Okay, so all right. With that being said, I think we said a lot. We said enough. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate you. Just make sure you keep that same energy, baby. Okay? That's all we're saying. Start where you are. use what you have, and do what you can. Until next time, folks, peace.